There we go. Whew, much better. Anyway, so since we're on the subject of misinterpretation, and, well, we're making our way through the sanctuary here slowly but surely, I'd like to talk about something else that, might have some concern to you guys. And that would be part of the 1/5 of my audience thing. I would like to talk about girls. Now, back in the, in the Act 4 finale, I talked about how Duke and Elena, there's like some sort of a romantic, subliminal message there between them. And as I've played through this game a little bit, in the time since that has been recorded, I've realized that there isn't actually any romance there. There isn't meant to be any romance between the two of them. What exists between the two of them is something much different than romance. They have a deep trust and compassion in each other. And although you guys may think, oh yeah, well, compassion and love are kind of the same thing, aren't they? They're two entirely different things. You don't have to love someone that way to be compassionate for somebody. It's kind of difficult to explain, but then again, when is love easy to explain, you know? Why am I getting so many sword level ups in this place when it's so, you know, end game like? Well, anyway, let's keep moving. But the relationship that they have between each other is something that can't be expressed as something with like romance, because their deep trust in one another is what drives them forward. And while that is a part of the a part of a love equation, I don't think that they have any romance between each other. That's not like that, you know what I mean? How are we supposed to get those chests? Well, we'll come back for them later. We actually can't grab them right now. We can grab them later on when we move into the temple itself. So we'll worry about them later. Their compassion for each other, the reason why I'm speaking of it is that it actually reminds me of, it reminds me of my own first love, essentially. Like, the thing with me is that when I was in high school, I didn't really have any, like before it was, you know, it could have been love. Because really in high school, oh dear God, Elena's hurt. Because really the thing with relationships in high school is that, and in middle school especially too, I know that some of you guys may still be in middle school and high school that are watching, but the thing with relationships then is that really they don't last, and you will not hurt her. They don't last, they're bound to end sooner or later. Well, most of the time, I'm speaking stereotypically. I actually know someone who has been with the same girlfriend since 9th grade, I think, and I think they're engaged now, actually. But the thing with that is that their marriage is going to be a very short and sweet, well, not really short, but it's going to be a very bittersweet moment because he's in ROTC. If you're not in college, you probably don't know that ROTC is essentially a recruiting program for the Army or the Navy or the Air Force. And he's in that, so essentially they're going to get married, and then he's pretty much going to get shipped off to some country in the Middle East. Oh my God, what is that? Oh, it's Earthsahagan. I think it's an Earthsahagan, anyway. I forget what they're called. Ow. But anyway, basically they're going to get married, and he's going to get shipped off to wherever he's going to get shipped off to, which is pretty sad. But, you know, he's serving for his country, and I can appreciate him for it. So, but anyway, the point of that is that most high school relationships will not last, so there's no point really in dwelling on them and trying to make them last very long, because at that age you really don't know what you want, which is, not to say that you're like, well, I will say this, you are immature when you're in high school. I know that that's probably going to anger a couple of people, but you are. I mean, you don't know everything. You may think you know everything in high school because, well, you're also very smug in high school, but you really don't, and there's always room, like I've said before, for improvement, even now, but there's always room for improvement in personality, especially in high school, because, well, like I said, you don't know everything that there is to know in high school, so, but So my point of that in that case is that I really didn't have any solid relationships. Like, I had girls that were friends, but I didn't really have a girlfriend per se that I, took out on dates and stuff. The problem with me is that I rarely have enough money to even support myself, so I can't really afford to support girlfriends. Niccolo, how the hell did you get here? We're practically in heaven, and Niccolo followed us all the way. This doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, the problem in high school is that well, it wasn't really a problem, but I didn't really have any solid relationships with girlfriends like that. But in college, when I first got into college, wow, I can't jump up there. Oh, because it's too high. Never mind. So when I went to college, during my orientation at the university that I'm at now, I actually met this one girl. Her name was Kendra, and I seriously, she was the first one that really struck me, like really hit me right there, as like someone that I could really spend a lot of time with and just get to know. Why are you still here? Whatever. She was the first one to really strike me as the person that I could get to know for my entire life. I don't know why I thought that. It's probably because the first love is always the one that you're love struck about, and it's like you think, oh, well, I'm going to make this last forever, this relationship is going to last forever, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, it didn't last forever, unfortunately. I'm just checking to make sure I got all the treasure in here. Okay, I got all the treasure. It didn't last forever. She, basically what happened, I remember the details pretty vividly. I asked her the one day to, if she wanted to go to the food court. Well, it's called the Student Union Building, in our school. And basically what happened is she texted me back saying, I'm on a date with a girl. Now, I thought she was kidding at first because we used to kid with each other all the time. But then she stopped texting me for a month. And when I tried to text her and call her, and well, because I'm a commuter and she lived on campus, so it was kind of difficult to get in touch with her actually on campus because, well, she didn't really like go to her dorm room with me too much, and when she did, usually her dorm room partner, like the person living in the dorm with her, was there anyway. So I didn't feel like, invading in their privacy just to see her. You know what I mean? It wasn't that at that stage in the relationship yet. So anyway, I'll talk about this in a sec because we have a shadow to deal with. Well, you were wrong, sir. Surprised to see me? I'm better than you thought. Yes, you should. Give me a proper welcome to this place. That's not a proper welcome. But it is a boss, so we shall defeat it. This is Demagon, the dark dragon of the sanctuary. He has laser beams in his eyes that cause the stop condition. Damn it! Stop doing that! Wow, that's ironic. Stop doing that, and he uses stop beams. So, it's really difficult to avoid stop, but basically, the thing with stop is that you can still attack when you're stopped. So if you can get up to his face and then let him stop you, he's cake. Like seriously, it took me 4 hits to kill the guy. So, basically, get up to his face, and even if he stops you, just wail on the guy. If you're using magic, you can probably stand, like, right here, because you're halfway between the ground where his tail is, and he'll do tail sweeps pretty often, so it'll interrupt your casting, and that's no fun. You can stand like right here, and the only thing you'll really have to deal with is his fire breath, and just shoot spells at him from there. He's an easy boss. I don't know why Julius would want to sick him on us, considering he's that easy, but whatever. I'm not one to object for more experience. It just took a little longer, that's all. So anyway, back to the conversation about my first girlfriend. True girlfriend. While we're in the Mana Temple here. she, like I said, she texted me saying I'm on a date with a girl. And I thought nothing of it at first because we kidded around with each other like that for quite a while. But then she stopped texting me for quite a while. When I tried to get in touch with her by calling her or by, you know, going to her, like, I didn't want to go to her dorm room because then I'd be creeping. But I actually was in the area at one point because I was with another friend, and we were actually going to go get our school supplies. So we wanted to know if she wanted to go with us because I knew from experience previous to this that she had to go to the same bookstore in the Buffalo area in order to get her books. Because, well, we all met there in the first semester of college that I was in order to buy our books. So I knew for a fact that she would have to go there again because of the classes that she was taking. She was doing she was going to be like a physical therapist. So she had to she sometimes had to go to the South Campus. You guys probably know what school I'm talking about if you're in the area now. But she had to go to South Campus for some medicine classes, and so she had to grab some books from the bookstore down there. So I knew for a fact that she would be going down there. So I went to her room to ask her if she wanted to go, because I was in the area anyway with my other friend, and we had to go, and she wasn't there. So essentially, what I have gathered from this, we've only spoken, well, we haven't even spoken to each other really since the incident where she texted me saying she's on a date with a girl. The only time we've actually interacted with each other since then is via text, and I basically sent her a text message about a month and a half ago, kidding around, asking her if she moved to Colorado yet without me, because she wanted to go to Colorado for school. So I basically sent her a text kidding around saying, "Hey, did you move to Colorado without me yet?" And we talked a little bit, and you know, it was a normal texting incident, but it wasn't the same, you know. And the thing with that is that normally first relationships, when you break up with somebody the first time, they strike you particularly hard because you know the old saying, you never forget your first love. This one struck me particularly hard because as far as I know, the first girlfriend I actually ever had that was a real girlfriend, I feel like I turned her into a lesbian. Now, to any lesbians in the audience, there's nothing wrong with you, but I feel like it's my fault because she was, you know, I don't want to say normal because that makes the lesbians feel bad, but she was typical, you know. She was, and I felt it's hard to talk about this because it's so close to my heart, you know. But as far as I know, she's a lesbian now. So the very fact that I could turn a girl, the first girl I date, into a wannabe, well, I don't want to say wannabe boy because I'm going to get the lesbians angry at me again. Well, the lesbians angry at me. So the very fact that I could turn a girl that way, I mean, I know that it's like a choice that they have to make, but I feel like it's partially my fault that she decided to swing that way. And really, it's like I want to know why she decided to do something like that. Like, what in her psyche made her decide, okay, I'm going to be a boy now? Because, maybe not necessarily because this guy is being so clingy. I wasn't even being clingy, really. I mean, it was just like a regular, like a friendly relationship. I suppose that might have been the problem, but I mean, it's really difficult, you know, to talk about it, but I wanted to know why, really. I think that may have been, now, being that I am a psychology major, we do talk about psychoanalysis a lot and the underlying unconscious thoughts that in our heads that cause us to do certain things. Like, I think that may have been an unconscious reason for me to do that. But for me to, well, you don't know what I'm talking about, but for me to have switched majors, because originally I was an engineering major, and I switched to psychology afterward because I didn't really like engineering. as much as I thought I was going to. But I also, for some reason, because I analyze things way too much now that I'm a psychology major, I think that her essentially turning lesbian on me kind of made me so emotionally traumatized that I felt like I had to know why it happened. So essentially I'm telling you that I'm a very immature person right now. Oh, God. But, I mean, I'm over it. I'll find someone else. There's always someone else. I really thought that she was the one, though, but apparently not. So...